This drawing here is for Inventor, and what we're going to be doing here is building a part that's going to act as your front and back. So really we're going to have, uh, in a sense, one drawing, and when we hit to the end of this drawing, it's going to actually split off into two separate drawings, which I'll show in different videos. But what we're going to do at this point is get the main drawing uh, done that you guys will need to have first, which will be named part 1. So what you're going to do is start a new drawing after you've opened up Inventor. It's going to open this up here, this window. What you want to do is select the metric folder here, and you can double click on standard millimeter, or you can click on it and come down here and hit create. Okay, the drawing is pulled up here. Uh, what you're going to see here real quick, similar to AutoCAD, you have a ribbon that goes across the top here with some different functions, and you have panels like sketch, primitives, create, modify. Okay, and then you have tabs that go across here like 3D model, inspect, tools, manage. All right. On the right hand side here, just like in an AutoCAD, you have navigation toolbars. Um, Top right corner here, you have a navigational cube. I'll talk a little bit about that later. And importantly here, on the left-hand side, you have a browser. Okay, and this is a tree that's going to slowly start to build. Right now, there's not a whole lot on here because there's no drawing started yet. So the first thing we're going to do though in creating this part is to expand the origin folder here, and we're going to look for the XY plane. And when we left click on that, it's going to pop an option up in here for us to create sketch. So we're going to hit create sketch. And when that opens up, you'll notice kind of a crosshair here with a yellow dot in the middle. All right. Next thing we're going to do is create a rectangle. So I'm going to click on rectangle, and then I'm going to click somewhere up in this left-hand corner, and then I'm not going to drag, hold down and drag. I'm just going to move the mouse and click down here. This gives me a 2D sketch. Okay, then what I'm going to do is actually set up a vertical and a horizontal constraint around this center dot here, so that way it spaces evenly, so when we go back later to dimension, it dimensions equally around. What I'm do here is get a vertical constraint, and we're going to find the dot along the top here, come back and click the yellow dot in the middle. You'll notice how it brings the drawing over. Then we're going to get a horizontal constraint, and we're going to come along the side here till we see the dot. There it is. We click on that, and then we click the yellow dot in the middle. That brings this and constrains it to these points. Okay, once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and dimension these edges here 1 out to 49. We type it in, hit enter on the keyboard, and then all you do is click on the line here again, drag it out. We're going to change 39, we're going to make it 49. Okay, and like I was saying earlier, we can hit the home button. That gives us a bigger view of what's going on. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and hit finish sketch. And I'm going to extrude this feature and turn it into a 3D shape. So I'm going to go ahead over here on the ribbon here and hit extrude. And when I do that, it'll pop this up to an extruded. I want to make it, instead of 10 millimeters, I want to make it at 20. So go ahead and type in 20. I can either hit I can hit the check mark here, or I can hit enter on the keyboard. And then I'm going to kind of center that again. So you can kind of see I have this cube shaped looking thing here. So the next thing I'm going to do on the top is we need to create some holes. So what I'm going to do here is highlight the top here, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to create a new sketch. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is create an offset here. So I'm on this sketch tab, only pops up when I'm in a sketch mode. Once I hit finish sketch, this will go away. So when I have sketch tab up, I can find the offset here on the modify panel, and then I can select any edge here. So I'm going to go ahead and select here, and you'll notice as I'm bringing this in, it creates an offset of the outer edge here in parallel on all sides. What I want to do is set that at 5 millimeters from the edge. So I'm going to click dimension. I'm going to actually select this edge and this edge right here and create it to where it's at 5 millimeters. Okay. And once I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and hit finish sketch. And you'll notice over here on the browser tree, you'll notice how I'm starting to build a tree of steps that we've done along the way. We can go back and edit things at any time. But as we go forward here in the next step, you'll see more things kind of start to build here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the hole command. I'm going to move this out of the way. And what I'm going to do here is I need to set where I want to put the hole. Okay, so I'm going to, right here on this, you can see this dot right there where those corners are. I'm going to make sure that the termination is set to through all, so you can notice it goes all the way through. And instead of being at 3 millimeters, I'm going to change that to 6. Okay, once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. All right, and you'll notice I put one hole in here. Okay, but what we want to do is we actually want to add 3 other holes, one here, and one here. So in order to do that, we're going to actually click on this option here. It's called rectangular pattern. You'll notice it's found on the pattern panel. So we go ahead and select that. Pulls up this option here for us. So the first thing you want to do, make sure that the features option is selected and highlighted here. So we're going to select the feature that we want to pattern. That's the hole. So we go ahead and select that. Okay. Then what you're going to do is select the direction 1 arrow. So we go ahead and select that. And we select this top edge right here. Right now, we don't want it to go that way. We want it to go the other way, so what we need to do is flip it. So we go over here to this flip, and you'll notice how it changes directions and goes the other way. So now we need to set it at a specific distance. We do not want it to go at 10 millimeters. We actually want it to go at 39, because that, remember, we brought it in 5 millimeters from each edge. We had a 49 width on the whole length, but again, if we bring it in on 5 on each side, we take 10 away from 49. That gives us 39, which is why we put the circle at 39. Okay, so we don't hit OK just yet. All right, we go to direction 2 arrow, and then we come over here and select the other edge. And you'll notice it puts 2 other holes here. Again, we want to change that to 39, again, for the same reason I just said. Once we have that laid out, you'll notice, hey, that's where we want them to go. Let's go ahead and hit OK. And you'll notice that we created. What we're going to do here is expand the origin folder, and we're going to find the YZ plane. Okay, so when we click on that here in the browser, we're going to go ahead and click Create Sketch. And then we're going to right click in here in the graphics window and then hit Slice Graphics. And you'll notice right here that when I go back and click this view cube right here, you can go ahead and do that. You'll notice that we basically cut the drawing in half. Okay, so this next step is important to do. It'll help us lay out the foundation for the revolved feature. We're going to go ahead and select project geometry. Make sure you select the top half here of the icon, and you're going to select this back line right there. So when we do that, you notice this yellow line shows up. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and go back to the right view. Now we're going to come over here and get a line, and we're going to create an object here. You'll see the green dot centers us, and we're going to make this shape right here. All right, and when we're done, we can either hit escape or you can right click and hit OK. First thing we want to do is make sure these 2 vertical lines are lined up. Okay, in order to do that, that'll come in handy later when we go to dimension. So we're going to add a collinear constraint, which is this icon right here. So we click that, and you'll notice after I click this first one here, see how this is blue? When I click this one, they're going to line up. And you'll notice how they lined up. Now when I dimension this here, they'll both stay the same. Okay, so when we dimension these, we're going to go ahead and select dimension, and then we're going to make the top dimension here at 20.5, and hit enter. Then we're going to select this line and this line right here, and we're going to make those at 17.5. Then this line here is going to be at 2. The line right below it here, that is going to be at 4. And the last line, this vertical line right here on the end, we're going to make that at 8. Okay, once I've completed that, I'm going to go ahead and hit Finish Sketch. And you'll notice I have this 2D sketch sitting on top of the 3D sketch. So what we need to do is take that 2D sketch and turn it into a 3D sketch with a revolve feature that's going to mirror that 2D shape all the way around. Okay, so what we're going to do here is revolve this feature. So we need to turn it into a 3D shape. So we're going to go ahead and hit the revolve feature here. As you'll notice, the profile is actually already highlighted in blue. So what we need to do next is make sure the axis is selected here. So it is. We're going to actually select this line right here. You'll notice, see how it wraps around and revolves that into a 3D shape. We go ahead and hit the check mark. Then what we're going to do here is come around, click the front view, kick this around to where we have this view now. Then what I like to do is right click on the home button, set the current view as home, and hit fit to view. So now from here on out, this is where it'll go back to. So when you're done, go ahead and make sure you save this as your part 1. And we're going to make sure, again, I'd put it in your Z drive. Again, you can see mine is a staff shared here. Okay. Go ahead and hit save on that. I already have one exist, so go ahead and yes. All right, and then what you also want to do when you're done with this is make sure you export it into a PDF. And again, we'll go ahead, for the sake of the demonstration, we'll put it on the desktop. It'll be as a PDF in part 1. We're going to hit save. Okay. And then that'll be on the desktop, and there's another video that I have up here that'll show you how to move that into turning it in. So when this pops up, you guys can go ahead and close this out. All right, and then you're ready to turn in that part. And then again, we're going to build 2 other parts off of this main part, which will be in separate videos.